Hi, it's me, Mrs. Spasm. I have something other than a recorded online thingy. Um, Hello, let's try this again. Hi, Mrs. Spasm. I'm here teaching life skills workshop for everybody who needs this information. It is a master's level information, but pretty spastic person who's teaching it. So today's quick lesson. If you have not heard about spoons theory, look up the original. Let me turn this just a tad. Okay. Look up the original background on it. It was about a young woman who had lupus and was explaining to her friend what having lupus was like. So those in the chronic health community and then those in the neurodivergent community have used that analogy because it clicks a lot more for my younger students as well as my son. I taught my son this theory, and whether you use bars on your phone or energy sources or whatever, it's the same, but this seems to be a lot easier for younger kids. Oh, hi, that's the dog. She's eating in the back. My apologies. So this analogy seems to be a lot easier for younger kids to grasp. My son is now 23, and if he's had a really rough day at work, will come home and say, I've used all my spoons, I'm done for the day, and I know not to ask him, anything that's outside of his time to decompress, aka gaming. So what I'm about to show you is another thing that you can use to teach your children, or I'm trying to get this right here. Teach your children, or your children can be watching this and then they can teach their, I want the focus to be here though. So this is what I'm trying to set up, sorry. Like I said, super non-professional. But hi, where's the camera? Okay, here's the best part of the camera. Okay, so this is just an example, but my husband is neurotypical, but don't tell anybody. And he's got all of these spoons all day long, right? So even if he wakes up late and uses 2 spoons, that's fine. Let's say that he was caught in bumper-to-bumper traffic going into the office and he uses 4 spoons. Okay. He has a meeting with a really hard coworker. He's never told me that anybody that he works with he doesn't like, so just for the record. He can decide, oh, I'm gonna now go get hot chocolate. Now I'm going to work on that project that's due tomorrow, and he may use like a whole bunch, right? Let's just speed it up here. Like he's on his way home. He's in traffic, Chicago traffic again, and he uses a bunch of spoons. He gets home and I'm not cooking anymore, or haven't really cooked ever, but he is gonna use 3 spoons to make dinner, and then he's done, but he still might need to use a couple of spoons because I try to keep him up a little bit later for me. So do you see all these? He still has all of these spoons, all of them, that he can still choose from, that he can still have all of this support when he's doing anything that he needs to do, right? So he still has all of this stuff. Now, for neurodivergent, especially me now, and my son, we are given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, These are all the spoons we have for our day. So we'll just talk about me. If I am having a couple of doctor's appointments, I'm going to be using 4 spoons. If I have to take a shower and do my hair and do the makeup, that's 2 spoons. If I am trying to finish this workshop, that's going to be like 3 spoons. And then I have to call the hi, it's called Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi's out, so let's say I had to call them, and that was 2 spoons because I'm on hold forever. And then this is only noon, and I've only got 1 spoon left for my day. So then what this does is tells me, okay, what absolutely has to be done today, right? We talked about this in our brain dumping. This is all about prioritizing. And so what a lot of people think is that those of us that are given 12 spoons every day, we just can take an hour to watch TV or do more gaming and we're going to get some of those spoons back. And that's not necessarily true. For some people it is. My son can have a really bad day at work and say he's finished with all the spoons, and then he can actually spend an hour or 2 gaming, and he's got some spoons where he can then take out the trash, right? But for a lot of people that are neurodivergent, especially with autism and those with severe ADHD, these spoons are very limited, and these decisions. You can also use this as a decision fatigue. But just keep in mind that neurodivergence can pull from spoons all day long. But, sorry, neurotypical can do the spoons all day long. But neurodivergent people, we've got to make that decision every day. And some days taking a shower is a decision. If we have to go to the grocery store, like, oh, that could be a lot. If we are in a class, if you're in college and you're taking a class and that you really don't want to take because you're in visual arts and you have to take a business class, and like that could take up all of your spoons right there. So yeah, you can kind of get a couple back when you're neurodivergent, but what this thing does for me when I teach this is that it helps to give articulation to my students and my families. Hi, it's going to turn over to me really quick. My students and my families, so that they can start using that terminology and understand each other without having to go into major detail. Like, my son didn't have to tell me what happened at work that day. He just came home and said, out of spoons. And what that did was let me know that I needed to give him a lot of downtime so that he could kind of get back into his equilibrium and self-regulation. So whether you use those spoons for whatever, or you can use the bars on the phone, it doesn't matter. But the spoons theory is what's most popular as of when I'm recording this. And it's what sticks, especially for the younger kids. So hopefully that'll help, especially if you've got a kid, a student that gets overwhelmed super easy. Then you can be aware that they only have 12 spoons that they're operating with. And so let's make sure that their decisions and their energy that they're having to use, mental and physical, are not being used on things that overwhelm them, or things that really shouldn't be their decision anyway. And by when I say shouldn't be their decision, don't ask somebody when they don't have any spoons left. Like, my son comes home and says, I don't have any spoons left. I'm not going to ask him 2 minutes later, what do you want for dinner? Because he's not going to know. I mean, I'm going to guess it's going to be mac and cheese or pizza. But he's not going to know in that moment because he's in protective mode, and he's trying to self-regulate and get that calmness back in his life. But so anyway, that is my example of spoons, and I hope that it helps you, and I will see you in another lesson. Okay.